Brought to you by Friends Council and Agnes. Trustee U, your online governance program for trustees.
So some people ask, do we really need an outside person, a consultant, to come help us do that? And I think to the myriad of days of to-do lists and activities and projects that I had internal to my school position that never got approached because of this emergency or that emergency. I think using a consultant helps keep the focus, sort of the eye on the prize, don't you think?
I do, and I think the other value is, and I should clarify this, it's not like give it to the consultant. The consultant is the person who's holding the top space to ensure that the process moves along, that the partnering opportunities are designed well, facilitated well, and have good outcomes. That's the role of the consultant. The consultant who pulls away and squirrels themselves off into their own office and writes the plan is of no value to the school. The consultant who comes in and explores the right way to work in that environment with their intense levels of responsibility, their conflicting challenges around all the ways people are pulling at them, and exacts her or his time to pull them together efficiently and effectively and stay on task, that's invaluable. The other thing is that when you're analyzing data and you care so much about every human being in that school, its history, its legacy, its relationships, it's really hard to pull out of that and maintain an objective third-party perspective. You need it. And that's why we're of value. That's why we are of value.
It's also really difficult, I think, to avoid being emotionally drawn into some of the hard questions, because you feel as if you ask and you end up with an unhappy parent or someone who wasn't satisfied, that it's a reflection on yourself as a member of the school community. And it isn't necessarily true. It really is more reflective of where that person was at the time in the school when it happened, and you really have to stay above it. Having a consultant be in the middle of that relationship really, really helps. As well as the fact is that this is not really rocket science. When you go through some of the questions that you ask faculty and the questions that you ask students and the questions you ask parents are oftentimes the same questions from school to school. You get totally different answers. But instead of having to try and do this yourself, where you're thinking of every question and every process and which directions to listen to, it's so much easier to have a platform from which you're moving rather than to have to redesign the entire event yourself.